just, okay, I guess with the law, it was just for Abraham back then, but now through Christ, that's what it's trying to say. That's what not what it's trying to say. That's what it's saying. But through Christ, we all are inheritors of the promises, right? It's not just Abraham or the Jewish people, but because of Christ, we all are engrafted into the promises. It makes sense now. I just wouldn't know what they were talking about. It's the way they say it. And sometimes you can read something and it's just don't understand what it's saying. So I like to know what they're talking about. But the promises is right. It's not just for Abraham or the Jewish people. Back then it was just for Jewish people. But because of Christ, the promises is for all of us. If we live right and walk right and we accept the Spirit of Christ, the promises is for all of us to be blessed. Amen? Amen. So that was number 16. So I need somebody to read 18 for me.
For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of promise, but God gave it to Abraham by promise.
Amen. So if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of a promise. Why do you think that it would be no more of a promise if it was by the law? And I pretty much uttered a lot about the law, that no man could possibly keep the law. So if you couldn't keep a law and your inheritance is based on the law, think about the question that they're asking. For if the inheritance be of the law, right? Back then, nobody could keep the law. So imagine if your inheritance was based on those 10 commandments. You know what your inheritance is? Your promises to live, your promises to have a better life. If it was based on the law, do you think you would get it? Honestly, do you think you would get it if it's based on the law? Answer me. Tell me why you think that way. Based on the law. Suppose the law was saying that in order for you to have a good life, you have to keep all the commandments of the law. Obey your mother and father. Don't curse your mother out. Don't slam the room door. Don't hate your husband. Don't, all these different things. Based on that law, do you think you would get the inheritance? Why? That's it. I believe that we wouldn't even be here if it was based on the law, because they was killing people. Once you couldn't keep the law, you did something, they stoned you to death or they hung you. Imagine everybody being hung and stoned. I believe we would not be here. And see, some people fail to understand that it's because of the grace of God why we were here, why we're here today. Because if it was up to the law, there would be none of us. You wouldn't know me, I wouldn't know you if it was up to the law. And God knows this. But people just think that we're here because we should be here. We're here because God's grace and mercy. Because if it was up to the law, there would be no inheritance. Because no man, not even the priestly men, could be perfect. So you see, that's what God is trying to show us. Because of God, that's why we're here. So it says for